Work management platforms. Ugh, endless onboarding, IT bottlenecks, admin requests. But what if things were different?
We found love in an open space.
Monday.com is different. No lengthy onboarding. Beautiful reports in minutes. Custom workflows you can build on your own. Easy to use prompt-free AI. Turns out you can love a work management platform. Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Season 17, Episode 15, titled Lip Sync Lalaparuza Smackdown. My name's Joe Batanz, and I am joined, as always, by one Lollaparooza co-host from the podcast Bravo, Bravo, effing Bravo. Please say...
The lesbos are gonna live for this, honey.
To Mr. Nathan Patrick Brown. Hello, Nathan.
Hey, Joe.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing, well, as you know, I'm very frustrated right now. Well, no,
Yeah.
I've calmed down. So Nathan and I just recorded an episode of Just Between Us Girls. And actually, for the first time this season, really actually just recorded an episode of Just Between Us Girls. We did it together like we used to do in the old times right before the episode. And
now I feel all warmed up.
actually, I do feel warmed up. I actually did need it, Nathan, 'cause that's what I was going to explain was, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to confess something to you here live on the air, is that I was so frustrated by the technical. We had about 30 minutes of technical issues I had to deal with. And I'm pressed for time. So I was like seething when I went on. I had to like do breathing exercises while you were telling me your story because I was still so worked up from what happened. And so I had to do breathing exercise. It worked, but no. So yes, you're right. I am warmed up and calmed down and ready to go for this episode. But if you want to hear that Just Between Us Girls episode, you're going to want to hear. This is where Nathan talked about all the action he got at this hen's party, the strippers, the naked waiter, the foursomes. Am I wrong?
Well, no.
Yeah. So you're going to want to hear that over at patreon.com/after. Well, there's several ways. Patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Executive tier level and above gets Just Between Us Girls. Okay. Then there's a bunch of ways you can get it. Let's say you're like, I don't want to subscribe, right? I just want to hear Just Between Us Girls. That's all I want to hear. I don't want to subscribe to anything. Because I'll forget there's a subscription and all this stuff. Nope. You can go to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Go to the collections tab, which is right there on the main page. Go to Just Between Us Girls, and you can just buy it for $20. Boom.
20. Wow, that is so good.
Yeah, 16 episodes is such a good deal. $20 right there, you get it. All of them. And even you're like, well, I missed the ones from before. They're there. Everyone from the season is there. Nathan, look, and you're like, I don't know, Joe. I don't know. Let me tell you this. My father fucked Marlena Dietrich. But before he did, I also
killed Judy Garland.
I killed Judy Garland. But also, I've been putting out free content on this patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Tons, hundreds of episodes are already free of just free content. And if you're like, I want to know, before I buy, I want to try. You can do that. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia and just follow us. Join for free. You can join for free. And I'm telling you, you can go to the collections tab. There's a ton of content. All the old episodes of my old podcast, Catching Up, which is over 300, they're all there. I just made one of 20 episodes for free. I went to everything it's the pre-Afterthought Media Patreon stuff that's not Drag Race related. So all these like weird episodes that would fall through the cracks, no one would ever find them again. They're all in one collection, and they're all free. You can go listen to a brief history of Cher, an episode we did about the hottest guys out of drag. Guys, there's like, do you know about this, Nathan? There's like 20 episodes of this stuff.
Yeah, I had a look at what was there, and there was, I think there's one when you did like an episode about 9 to 5, the movie.
Yes,
and I remember listening to that like 7 years ago and being like, this is good.
Yeah, there's an episode where my friend Michael and we talk about the show 9 to 5. I think coming next week is year 1 of Afterthought Media, and there's some good shit in there. There was a mini series that Jay and I did where we deconstructed Read You Wrote You, or Read You Wrote You, however you want to call it. There's guys, and it's all free. All you have to do is follow us for free. Patreon.com/AfterthoughtMedia. Also, you can just do it in the app, and then you can just listen whenever you want on the phone. The one thing I will say, because people have been messaging me, Nathan, they go like, listen, look. I subscribed to you. I actually subscribed. And then they'll show me like the proof that they subscribed. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I love it. I'm glad that you did that. Don't ever subscribe in the app. Don't do it. Don't. No, because there's basically an iPhone tax. So iPhone just automatically taps on like 25 or 30% on top of the price. I don't see this. You're literally just paying 25 or 30% extra to Apple. That's why I don't know the price for, you can also get Just Between Us Girls on the Apple podcast. You just scroll up. It's like $6 and something. I don't know what it is, right? Because I get 5. They tack on like a certain percentage, and then that's what I get. That's what they keep. So, yeah, I would really just charge $5, but they don't want to do that anyway. All that right there. Nathan, everything else good? We're going to get to the episode. We're going to do all that, everything?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, so we're going to do here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this episode. We'll be back right after this.
Dear old work platform, it's not you, it's us. Actually, it is you. Endless onboarding? Constant IT bottlenecks? We've had enough. We need a platform that just gets us. And to be honest, we've met someone new. They're called Monday.com, and it was love at first onboarding. Their beautiful dashboards, their customizable workflows got us floating on a digital Cloud 9. So no hard feelings, but we're moving on. Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
Long gone are the days of waiting to be seen in a doctor's office only to have that awkward conversation with your healthcare provider. Wisp gives you access to sexual and reproductive healthcare from the comfort of your home. Get treatment for BV, yeast infections, UTIs, and much more delivered directly to your home or ready for pickup at your local pharmacy in less than 3 hours. The best part? Wisp is discreet, convenient, and you don't need medical insurance to receive care or prescription medication. Visit us today at hellowisp.com.
Some things work better together, like NARS's Soft Matte Complete Concealer and Radiant Creamy Concealar. Soft Matte Complete Concealar erases and blurs imperfections with full coverage. Then, Radiant Creamy Concealer evens and brightens with a luxurious texture and radiant finish. 2 concealers, 1 flawless look. Perfect for a no foundation base. NARS, better together. Visit Ulta to shop now.
And we are back. Yes, we are back. And we are going to be talking about this episode. I have a script. Where did it go? It's right here. This week, all of the contestants returned to reunite for this season's lip sync Lalaparuza Smackdown. In the end, Susie Toot was named the winner of the crown of She Done Already Done Had Hers Is and walked away with a prize of 50,000 doulas. Nathan, Patrick Brown were the right queens in the final lip sync, and did the right queen win the whole Smackdown? Before you say anything, I'm going to tell you something, because this isn't one of those episodes. You're going to have a pass. If you have a big takeaway, by all means, share it. But if you don't, I mean, it's a lip sync Lollaparuza Smackdown.
I'm always prepared, baby.
Okay. So first, let's answer this question: Were the right queens in the final lip sync, and let's do that one first. Were the right queens in the final lip sync?
You know what? I could have seen a different final 2. It's not the final 2 I would have expected. But with what was presented on the main stage, I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, there's a few things I would disagree with, but it's no major robbery. So, yeah, I'll say the right two queens were in the final two. And I think the right queen won. I was really surprised with Susie. I said last week that, like, she would grow as a performer getting out in that 5th spot, and she has. Her makeup was already so much better. And yeah, it was nice to see her doing something different and not like that same old shtick, and just really own that different part of her performance style. Like, it was really good. And I feel like, yeah, the circumstances aligned really well for her with who she went up against to get into that position. But I don't know. I think it wasn't a huge riggery robbery. I think she did good.
All right, very good. I'm close to you on this one. I think, I'll be honest with you, based on my notes, and maybe I'm tipping my hand a little bit much on an episode where there's not much to talk about. I don't think it was quite the final two I would have put in there. I would have still kept Susie Toot. If I'm really looking at the best of the other lip syncers, I probably would have put Lydia B. Collins in there. But it's quibbling. I think Corey also, it's not like Corey was there and I was like, what? Right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, and we'll talk about when we get to that lip sync, but I think maybe Lydia should have been in Corey's place, but whatever. And I think honestly, she probably would have if there wasn't this whole thing that Corey's been doing Susie on TikTok, on Cameo, and all that. If that wasn't the case, then I probably would have been like, maybe would have gone to Lydia. Who knows? We got to think of the Wizards of Wicked, the grand multinational corporation that runs all of entertainment. When we think about this and how they pull the strings.
Well, I'm not saying there wasn't any string pulling this episode.
I don't think it was that much.
But I think it was some light nudging.
Okay. Now, I don't have a big takeaway in the chamber right now, but if you do, by all means, Nathan, go ahead.
Yeah, you sort of touched on it with the, like, Corey Toot of it all, which is just, I love that they only filmed this seemingly a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wait. I think you're going where, you know what? You're going exactly where I should have gone. Yes, I think you're going to have the same big takeaway I should have had. Go ahead.
Well, I just think it's a fun new element that they've watched themselves back and they've seen the fan reaction before coming back to do this Lalaparuza. And it was fun to sort of see the All-Stars glow up in real time, like with Ariette's new face and stuff. So it was like, I don't think these girls are interesting enough for like a full 1 hour reunion, but just like seeing them interact in the workroom and having those little reunion catch-up moments was really enjoyable for me.
You know what? You took a little bit of a detour where I was going, but that's good. So now I agree with what you're saying. It's 100%. I think my big takeaway is I was seeing a lot of discourse online before this lip sync Lollaparuza Smackdown, where people were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we're not getting a reunion. This is horrible. This sucks." And all these, that's because WoW's lazy and they're gonna do it with this TS Madison and yada 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 yada, right? And I didn't care that much because I was like, guys, do you guys remember that the reunions there are a few exceptions, but for the most part are pretty boring. I can't remember season 10's, but the last one I remember is season being good was season 9. Maybe, I think season 10 might have been good too. But after that, and maybe even season 11 with Evie. I keep going down the line. But for sure, after around that era, I will say this with 9, 10, and 11, there's diminishing returns. You don't really get better than season 9, right? And maybe 10's a little worse and 11's a little worse. And then after that, it's like, they're pointless when they have them, right?
Sure.
And I will say, and here's the deal, is they have to fill an hour. They have to talk about stupid shit. They have to try and give Joella the early outs time. It's a whole thing. And it's fucking boring, you know? I know Robert hates when I talk about me going to any finale, but I'm only kind of talking about it here in that I almost, the best finale I ever went to was the season 9 finale. I consider myself very lucky to have been in the audience with an amazing seat for Sasha Velour's iconic performance.
I mean, that is kind of special.
But I'm going to tell you something. I could have had a better seat.
Oh.
The reason it wasn't better was I positioned myself by an exit because I was like, I'm going to leave after the queens come out.
Yeah.
Because what happened was I was there under Sirius XM. Sirius XM got me the ticket in, and I got to go in super early with the press, and they were like, you can sit wherever you want. And I was like, I've been to these boring finales. I'm just going to position myself by the exit, kind of close, but that's so I can leave.
Did you fight with Soju or anyone?
Well, I did sit. Where I chose to sit was where actually everybody, like the producers and anybody who were going to go on stage or off stage, was sitting by, like, next to me, literally. And that's when I saw this horrible Naysha Lopez. You know, she was fine, but I was just like, ugh, I was just giving her the evil eye the whole time. And anyway, the reason I bring that up is the reason I thought those season finales were boring was because remember, because on TV, you only saw a condensed version, but it would take 6 or 7 hours to film this fucking show.
Yeah.
And it was always like an hour with like the early outs and an hour with the, you know, and you're like, oh, right? This is boring. This is horrible. And so, yeah, so the reunions were just a version of that, and they were boring too, right? So I was thinking before that, I was like, well, we're not really missing anything, if I'm being honest with you. You know, in this day and age, no one's going to say anything. It's going to be horrible. And whoever at the Wizards of Wicked, whoever decided there that this is the way to do a better version of a reunion, chef's kiss, genius. That's exactly the way it should be done. In fact, they should even expand it even more. I think, look, this is the first time they've done something like this. Because they've done the lip sync, but you didn't see them come in the workroom and get ready and address some of the issues that happened before.
Yeah. I was thinking, it was last year, I sort of got the impression last year when they did it, it was like back when they were filming. There wasn't a huge break.
They might have done that, actually. You're right. They may have, actually.
But I don't remember.
This is the one where they bring them back. You see the glow up. You get to see them in the workroom again as boys, and you get to see them address things. My quibbles are really just about how they kind of rushed through certain things and didn't bring up certain things. Like, why didn't we see Arietti and Jules sort of address things? But this was the version of reunion we should see. It was much more natural. It wasn't RuPaul going, and what do you think, so-and-so? And then they have their canned answer. It was much more organic. It was much more genuine. Even if it was for the camera, it felt better. Bravo, whoever decided to make this. We're going to confront the issues from the past right now in the workroom before they go on stage.
Totally.
It was basically a really good elimination day with some good content.
Yeah.
Oh, another one thing that they missed. Why didn't Joella confront Lana about all the stupid shit that she said about her?
See, I don't even remember that.
Well, remember Lana kept referencing Joella as like a piece of shit drag queen?
And was she wrong?
No, but still, I want to see Joella go off on her. All right. On that note, why don't we do this? Why don't we say goodbye to the public feed? And we will see you on the other side. All right, Nathan, it's a brand new day in the workroom, and all the contestants prance back in for one last hurrah. Arietti just apologizes to Anya. Lydia cries about the kind words she's received, and the girls kiki as they beat their faces before attempting to beat each other on the main stage. Let's stop right there. Nathan, any thoughts on what happened there in the workroom?
Yeah, this Arietti, when she came in and she's like, hi, everyone, yes, I've atoned. I'm like, okay, you can't just say that. Fucking prove it. And so I was glad when eventually she did walk up to Anya and apologized. The shady bitch in me wishes there was like a bit more of a fight about it. But no, like Anya was very gracious. They accepted the apology and, like we can move forward from that. So it wasn't like, sparks were flying, but it was nice to see. But I still don't like this Arietti and I don't trust her.
So I'm glad we got to see this moment. I think that was handled really well. If I had to bet dollars to donuts, I don't know what that phrase means, but if I had to bet that, I would bet Arietti called her privately.
Oh, she'd have to.
and addressed this, and that this happened behind the scenes, and we were just seeing it because we needed to see it play out on the camera. Yes. But I would actually, if I were Anya, not accept the apology if she waited, all these weeks for the first time to address this to me on camera. I would think, this isn't genuine because she waited till she was on camera to do it. But it did seem genuine. It did seem real. And I think it probably really happened behind the scenes when we were just seeing it reenacted on screen. But I thought it was a really good moment.
And I think that's what would have happened with Ariadne and Jules. But they're just like, we don't really need the closure on that one.
Well, yeah, like I said, but we should have, because not everybody watches Untucked. And that happened on Untucked towards the end. Because it actually happened in a moment that I'll be honest, when I do watch Untucked, even when it's good, I stop watching when they go like, after they say 5 minutes, girls, I stop watching. I go, okay, well, I don't care. I know what happened, right? Mm-hmm. And so but that one I did keep watching, and I got to see them have a very genuine moment then. Yeah.
About the joke stealing?
Yeah. They talk about it.
I missed that.
Yeah. So, I don't think about specifically about the joke stealing, but Ariadne does sort of, they kiss and make up right there, right before they go on stage to face each other. Here's what I will say before we go on, since we're on Ariadne as it is. She looked really fucking hot. I think.
Oh, you think?
I think she overdid the lips. Like she should realize she's Latino. She already naturally has fuller lips, and the lips looked a little ridiculous. Maybe she did them just for the episode, so she looked better. But like, I think, save for the lips, she looked really smoking hot. Yeah, and I've never been an Ariadne is hot person.
I wanted to slap the filler out of her face every time she would do that thing where she'd bite her fingernails and be like, "Oh, I'm so innocent. I'm a baby," and bite her fingers. I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
As a person, I want to choke her underwater until she stops breathing. But just the actual physical appearance, really hot. I was like, "Oh my God, this is my type."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's something I've been thinking about is that, when I was younger, and maybe because I hated myself as my Latino-ness, I only liked white guys.
Right.
But as I've gotten older and I'm just sick of white people, God, I am fucking itching to hook up with an indigenous fucking Mexican who looks like there's not one drop of European blood in his system.
Okay.
Oh.
Do it.
I am. I want to get some of that Aztec. That's a horrible joke that Robert's going to bring up tomorrow. Any other thoughts on everything that happened in this moment, in this
Well, there were a few things that popped up that I didn't care about, and I've already forgotten, so I couldn't tell you what they are. But the only other thing I liked was just seeing Corey and Lydia full on dating. I thought, I love that for them. It's nice when a showmance extends into off-camera land and for it to still be going on. It makes it feel more real and not like they were just putting it on. So, good for them.
Yeah, good for them. This Lana Jarre, she comes in.
Oh, this bitch.
And she goes, "Oh, everybody's looking at me because I'm the lip sync assassin." And I'm like, have you been reading this? Does she realize that maybe one lip sync she really earned and the other ones were because the other person did something really...
Like the scissors. She did 4 lip syncs. One, she went home. One, her wig flew off, but she won somehow. One, she only won because Lydia fucked up with the scissors. And the other one, maybe she won. So she really won one.
She really won one, and we'll give her half or 2. But she's not she is not a lip sync assassin.
Well, I think if you're a lip sync assassin, you haven't lost. But she's lost.
I've made it clear. I've made this very clear. I do not like this... Whatever her name was, Maya Angelou Magami Mafiers. What was the one that did all the flips?
Maya Iman LePage.
Yeah, I was not a fan of her. Did not like her. Thought she stayed way too long. But I will give her the lip sync assassin title. Okay. Because I feel she saved her ass every fucking week because she was horrible with these lip syncs. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she also lost a couple of times. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Crystal Envy goes up to Sam Star at some point, and she goes, right in the beginning, right when they start putting on the makeup, she goes, "I miss you, sister." And Sam looks at her and goes, "Oh, I miss you too." I'm like, Sam, 100% does not know who Crystal Envy is.
I went to go write a note about her, and it took me like 3 minutes to think of her name.
I had a cheat sheet. Crystal's Lucky Stars. I was like, who is this person again?
That was a new person to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Crystal, I think she really signed up for this show thinking she was going to make history happen. And I'd be a little bit disappointed if I were her.
Yeah. Any other thoughts before I start going down my list?
Oh, the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss product placement was just the most egregious thing I've ever seen.
Same
it was
moment.
so obvious and sickening.
Crystal goes right into it right after she talks to Sam. Yeah. There's a point where Lydia during the confessional is talking about how the fandoms really embraced her and whatnot. And she starts crying. I'm like, bitch, why are you crying over that?
Well, I mean, the fandom can be fucking horrid.
But she was saying they were nice to her.
Yeah, and isn't that like a nice relief? Like it's not really what you go in expecting if you're a reasonable person who's not Joella. Like I think it'd be really nice to hear positive things.
Yeah. And like I said, this you mentioned the kiss between them, and we see a moment where Susie's talking to them and she says, "That is honestly one of the most iconic moments in television history." And I was like, I mean, it's probably been official for a while, but the phrase iconic now is way overused.
Totally.
Don't get me wrong, I really like that moment. But I can think of, off the top of my head, 100 more iconic moments in the history of television, Nathan. Mm-hmm. Television.
What would be up there? Who Shot JR? The monorail song from The Simpsons?
I'm not even go with that. I'm gonna be with like the Challenger explosion.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be
Sanjaya on American Idol.
Sanjaya on American Idol. I'm gonna be like
Moon landing.
Yeah, moon landing. Lori, remind me to talk to you about this moment later. I don't know if Lori listens.
She don't believe in it?
Huh?
Does she not believe in the moon landing?
I could see that. I could see a world where that happens. Then again, later, go back to Lana. Lana is like, she goes, "Everyone is shaking right now because of me and Lydia." I'm like, no one's shaking.
No. Well, I'd be more worried going up against Lydia than Lana.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, if you know what? Honestly, if Lydia would have gone up against Susie, I don't know who would have won. Probably Lydia.
I think so, yeah.
And they probably wanted to give that prize to Susie.
That's what I'm sort of leaning towards.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the episode, Nathan?
No, not in this episode, but it is the finale next week. So I was kind of wondering, like, who do you want to win and who do you think will win?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I want to win? I couldn't give a shit who any of the other people win. Who do I think will win? My money, if I had to put money on it, I would say Anya.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think Anya might take it, but I kind of want Jules to take it. Just because I've come to like her. Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
Who's leading?
I don't think she's the most magnetic or charismatic.
Who's leading the Twitter polls?
I think it's Jules and Anya are up there, and then I think Sam and Lexi are quite low. But I haven't checked in a week.
Sam Starr, like, is just an invisible person to me. Like, it's just like, I don't think he's a real human being, and I don't mean that in any positive way whatsoever. Right? People go, "Oh, you think he's so amazing that he's not?" No, I think he's unreal in that. Like, I used to have this thing with celebrities. What I mean is, like, I would put these celebrities in different categories. Like a celebrity I could imagine taking a shit, and a celebrity I couldn't imagine taking a shit. So, like, I can imagine Jack Black taking a shit.
Oh yeah.
But can you imagine Tom Cruise taking a shit? Could you imagine Michael Jackson taking a shit?
No, I can't.
Madonna?
What about Kathy Bates?
Oh, Kathy Bates, yeah, sloppy ass bowl winders, they're just like wrapped around the bowl. Like they're like, you think, oh, is that gonna go around Robert Irwin's neck? That's like this full on shit anacondas in the bowl, Kathy Bates. But what I'm talking about is it's the same thing. Like you even allege that Sam's hair isn't real, right? And I think it's because there's an artificiality to Sam Starr.
Agreed. Yeah, I think you're right. But, she was bullied in high school, so we shouldn't bully her now.
She was the bully. Anyway. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct the season finale of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17. So for Nathan Patrick Brown and myself.
You may have made me feel righty, real, Joe Batance.
Thank you for listening to Drag Race Recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. You can also email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ+ content, support us over at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This podcast was produced by Luke Stamen. You can follow Nathan Brown over on Instagram at NathanBrown90. Follow Joe Batance on Instagram at Joe Batance. Special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters. April Pacheco, Astute Girl, Brad Coley, Coco San Pedro, Derek Byers, Doofus Maximus, E. Smith, Efren Barbosa, Phil Skit Pony, Flying Suki, Humble Pie, J. Thomas Plink, Kathy Zender, Katie Whitmire, Lauren Eckert, Lucy Carrasco, Mary S., Mike Yeager, Nikki Baker, Nikki Pettit, Polly Anne-Marie, Poppy Woods, Ricardo Herrera, Runner Brandon, Sarah Yu, Tom Bobbs, Travi Cosmos, and Troy Anderson. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.